No, this is 100% going on the card. It's 100%. This is the play.
Hello, world, and welcome back to Gridiron Campbell, the only podcast that puts its money where its mouth is. I'm your host, Rich Ryan, and I'm joined by the entire collective, The Disciple, Brett Colson, Donnie, DP Peters, and the resident moose himself, Mo Nawara. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Listeners, rate and review on your podcatcher of choice. 5 stars only, like Terrace Marshall, who I personally need. I don't even know if he's on the pitch. I personally need him to help these Carolina Panthers because legal betting is open in the great state of Florida, and we have real American dollars on Carolina plus 3.5. Got it when Justin Fields was downgraded to doubtful. Can't lay 3.5 with something Bagent. So much so that we almost had a conversation until Donnie barged in and said, not having any of it. He has real American dollars on the other side of the double sounder game on the Chicago Bears.
Just having my fun, man.
Well, we had some fun in Vegas this past weekend. Missed you, Minotti. And we have to give our sincere thank you to Mark Gregorich, ODB, for being incredible hosts. We were well fed. The red wine was flowing. And great times were had in Las Vegas. And it almost was amazing. Got off to a 3-0 start. We were feeling good, feeling our oats. The Eagles were outplayed, I think, by the Cowboys. The Cowboys had 50-11 drives into the Dick Hare yard line and were unable to punch it in. And then, of course, the nightcap. I tried telling you guys that the Bills are dead men walking. Coin Burrow. The coin is always going to come up Burrow. We finished with a body blow. Minotti was 4-1. Mo and I both had body blows as DP and I both had body blows, and Mo had a reverse body blow at 2-3. And let's get into a week 10 slate that isn't very inspiring amongst the collective. None of us were in love with it, which is why we started to discuss TNF. And I think we're going to get into some arguments straight away because in the split game segment, there are some strong opinions, and it's funny because Mo and Brett are on the same side in all 4 of these games, and Donnie and I are on the opposing side, and we'll start with another double sounder game, this of the bird variety, as the Atlanta Falcons travel to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. Brett and Mo have very strong opinions on this game, which I don't know how they can, because the quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals has not touched a football in a year plus. And
thank you. You just made our point for us.
The market is pricing the Cardinals as if something Looney Tunes is still at quarterback, when in reality their quarterback is a giant unknown.
Huh?
This
what
didn't
are
move
you
off,
talking about?
This didn't move off the look ahead.
6.5 if Looney Tunes.
Because they capped for Kyler. The look ahead was capped for Kyler.
100%.
Was it Jesse Martin, Kyler?
Had to
but
be.
they make the line like it is.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that makes a little bit more sense, but I don't know how, Brett, you can have so much confidence in a bad team on the road, laying points against a quarterback who is a giant unknown, but if he plays anywhere to his abilities, the Cardinals are better at football? Question mark?
Definitely not. No way. This kind of goes against everything I've said about the Falcons this year, by the way. Like, you can't lay points with this team, especially on the road. But this is the Arizona Cardinals. I thought I was drunk when I saw FanDuel open the Cardinals minus 1.5 on Sunday. They corrected that pretty quickly. But to me, this is just an overcorrection because of the Kyler Murray return. We don't even know what Murray is going to look like. He's had next to zero work with these receivers behind this awful offensive line that is apparently going to be without multiple starters this week. Heineke's looked pretty bad in his 2 starts, but we know this dude has some game in him, and facing a bottom 3 defense in the league this week, really solid get-right spot. I capped this Falcons -3.5, and I've been locked in on the Falcons for most of this year. We don't like laying points with this team, but short of 3, I think this is fine. And I love the Falcons here.
Mo, pile on. The Cardinals are your team. You've been slobbing over the Cardinals these past couple
What are
weeks.
you talking about? I have not been. Brett already said basically everything, but I don't think he's properly hammering on just how bad the Cardinals are in a couple spots. Okay, number one, Brett said they're a bottom 3 defense. No, they're bottom 1. The Cardinals are the worst, okay? You won't find me a worse defense than the Cardinals. Second, this offensive line, which is already horrible, there's 3 starters out. One of them isn't even a starter, I think, because I've never seen this name before. Rich, you can tell me because it says he played for the Jets. Something Tristan Colon?
Nope.
I've never seen this name.
I know Willie Colon, who also played for the Jets,
Okay.
but I don't know
This
a
guy
Tristan Colon.
Played for the Jets, and he's listed as a starter, and I think he might be hurt too. So God only knows what his backup is. Kyler Murray on a halfway bum knee, running around against a top 5 pass rush, which this Falcons team is like 6th in pressure rate or whatever, or 3rd or something.
Yeah, they're...
Dude, no. The Falcons should honestly roll here against this dreadful, atrocious, absolutely abysmal Arizona Cardinals team. The market is pricing this like Kyler Murray is coming back just normal Kyler Murray. That's not what this is going to be, I don't think. Okay? Why are we so sure that he's just going to be good, especially when, let's be honest, the last time we saw Kyler Murray on an NFL football field, you guys, he was leading the Cardinals to a number 1 pick season. They were 4-8 when he got hurt. Okay? So why do we think this team is good? The Falcons are not bad. You can say that they're bad. They're not bad. They're just about in the middle.
No,
they're
bad.
a middle tier team.
They're bad too.
They're not bad.
They are bad. Passing offense, passing offense.
Sure.
They
but they're good at everything else. So when you're good at everything else
playing quarterback
and bad at passing offense, you're just an okay team. That's what they are. They're okay.
I had no strong opinion on this game. Neither did DP. So let's move on to the Washington team. That's right. The formerly racial slurs, formerly football team. Now Commanders travel to the Pacific Northwest to take on the Seattle Seahawks. This was 6.5 on the look ahead. Thank you, Darnell Mooney, for not catching that. Opened around there. I'm seeing 6.5 in real life and in the contest as well. And once again, Mo has the biggest opinion on this game, and it's on the road team. This time it's a dog in the Commanders. Lead us off, Mo. What do you like Washington here?
I don't know how much I like Washington, but I thought this line was a little bit too high. And then I'm looking at it. I need to literally call someone at a sportsbook and see if this is a real number. Why does it say 91% are on Seattle?
Yeah.
That can't be right, can it?
That's crazy. Yeah. I'm the one who inputs this. I'm the one who inputs this data. So that was right as of lunchtime today. Let me
If that's
circle
right,
back.
then I'd like putting Commanders on, I think, but I think the line's a little bit too high. But I mean, do the Commanders have a better quarterback here and a better passing offense?
No.
I don't know.
No.
Why can't Geno complete a
Come
pass? They
on.
scored 3 points.
You laid
20 points on the Cardinals.
You laid 2 eyes on Sam Howell throwing that interception in the red zone last
That
week.
was awful, but he
that's
was
Sam
good on
Howell.
all the other snaps.
But that's Sam Howell.
Sure.
That's what you get. Like, those are the things. These 2 quarterbacks are Spider-Man meme. But one has elite weapons and is at home, and the other has bum weapons and is on the road.
He does not have bum weapons. You stop it.
Something De'Ami Brown. Meaningful snaps.
Well, you can say something Bobo if you're going that route.
Bobo's elite. Bobo's out lossing people.
His name's Bobo, all right? Relax.
In a week where I don't like a lot, I really like Seattle in this spot. You've got a lot of rules here. We've got rule of better coach, better quarterback. We've got bet the team that looked the worst last week. Seattle was absolutely pasted by the Baltimore Ravens. They come home, comfy confines. bad quarterback on the road. Could be some wet conditions here as well. If this is an ugly running affair, I also trust Seattle in that situation. Like, yeah, I just think this is going to be tough sledding for Washington in the spot. And just in a week where I don't honestly like a lot of stuff, I ended up moving Seattle up and up and up, and they found the way into my top 5 right at the bottom. Brett, you were making some faces. I don't know where you landed on this game, but put a pin on it. You seem like you have an opinion.
No, I think you made some great points, and I'm liking the Commanders less and less with every point that you made.
It's so I kept looking at this now that I have real legal betting. Wow, Beijing is so bad. And I was like, I wish Seattle was in the Wong teaser zone, but I just might go ahead and tease it anyway, even though it's mathematically incorrect. So I'm not going through the 7 because is Washington going to win this game?
Why?
They could.
Why do people? What?
So here's the
Why
thing.
tease that?
I will. Well, here's the thing. You know what? You're right. This game is pretty clear. I think when Seattle wins, they win by margin. And if you're going to bet Washington, you might as well just bet them on the money bet line. That's kind of how I feel about this game. Because we've seen Geno blow it to smithereens. And if he's going to do that in a game against a passing attack that can be potent when Sam Howell doesn't turn the ball over, you might as well just go for max value.
What do you guys think about the total? This is completely unrelated to the contest, but I kind of like the over. Is it?
If it wasn't 70% rain, I'd be all in. You know? But slick ball, Pacific Northwest, a little cold, a little rain, a little worrisome.
I just think, dude, Geno is pretty good when he's not under pressure, and Washington just dumped their 2 best pass rushers, and then Sam Howell can actually get it done if he's not making absolutely boneheaded turnovers.
I definitely think that's a fair look. We go to our next game where Donnie and I are definitely on the 1,000% fish side, and it's Lions at Chargers. This had a look ahead of Chargers -1, and it has steamed all the way to Detroit -3. DP and I are on the favorites, albeit extremely low. And Brett, not only is he back on his bolts, but he's back in the top 5. You guys, they were a free square last week. Nobody listened to me against those pathetic New York Jets. But here you are, back on them after they beat New York on Broadway, Brett.
Well, I thought the look ahead on this game was beyond stupid. Like, I have Lions plus money in my account, which is fabulous. And shout out to Steven Andrews for pointing that one out, because I definitely got that in my account.
Mo is just
Where do you think he found that?
He got that from you?
I sent it to him in the article.
Thanks, buddy.
And
Brett,
I
you forgot,
told him,
buddy.
You forgot. If it's wrong, it's somebody else's fault. If it's right, Mo did it.
Mo does write the article. This is true. So that's definitely where Steven got it. Anyway, looking at the number right now, I feel like this has gone too far, though. And, like, I get it. Several things pointing the Lions' way. Off the bye, facing a team that's coming off a short week. No home field advantage. You can basically throw any travel and home field advantage away here. But even still, I can't get to 3. I think this should just be 2.5. So I want to like the Chargers. The problem is I don't know who the contest will take in this. I mean, like, just looking at the betting splits, it's impossible to know where the public is at the current number, since so many bets came in early in the week to get this to 3. But it sounds like, Rich, you think people are going to be on the Lions here.
I still think probably not as much as if it was short of 3. If this was 2.5, then this would be number 1.
they'd be the Bengals.
Yeah, exactly. This would be 2200 season all over again. But I think at 3 there will be a little bit of pause. But that being said, we've got teams on bye. We've got ugly numbers across the board. We've got an international game that nobody wants to bet on. We've got a 17-point spread that nobody's going to touch. So you start taking games away, and all of a sudden, you got to pick 5. And I don't think people are picking the Chargers. So the Lions might be a sneaky popular side. DP, we haven't gotten you involved just yet. You haven't a strong opinion on any of these games. But I don't believe in this chart. This is a simple cap. I'm not going to have real money on this, but gun to my head, I don't believe in this Chargers team. I do believe in this Lions team. And all the things Brett said about home field, I don't know where LA has any advantages in this game.
I mean, that's it. I'm pretty simple on this one. I really just don't believe in this Chargers team. I think you can sell them a little bit coming off the win that they had last week. That was really, I think more evidence of the Jets. I mean, I know Rich, you said it was a free space, but that Jets offense was a disaster last week. Really handed the Chargers the game. I like the Lions overall, and if I'm going to lean into Brett's idea of this being, home field for the Lions, I think it's going to be massively home field for the Lions. Like, picture Steelers-esque playing the Chargers, like that type of thing. Like the Lions are actually good now. We know they have a really good fan base whenever, and now they're really good. I mean, I feel like people are going to get out of the cold a little bit early in Detroit. They're going to head out to LA.
If you live in Detroit, what sounds better than Los Angeles in November?
I know, right? Come on. There's probably a bazillion tickets, or there were a bazillion tickets up for grabs because no one is a Chargers fan. I mean, this is great.
I'm right there with you. Last split game, another double sounder, as the Houston Angry Cows travel to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. This was Bengals minus 7.5 on the look ahead. Open 7 after CJ Stroud went absolutely nuclear last week, and is now sitting at 6.5. And this is an appropriate way to sandwich the split game segment because, like the first game, I don't know how you can get to a strong opinion in the spot because this injury report is littered with meaningful players on both sides of the ball. The Bengals probably have the two biggest injuries in both pass catchers, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Yesterday it was Jamar who missed and T. Higgins who was limited. Today on Thursday it was T. Higgins who missed and then Jamar who was limited. So they're flip-flopping a bit in Cincinnati. Brett, you like the Texans and you like them quite a bit. They're in your top 5.
They are. I've been backing the Bengals a lot over the past month. I think now is a good time to hop off. Now that the market is swooning over Joey B and this team. I don't think the Bills are a top 10 team right now, so I'm not going to credit Cincy for that win very much last week, like many others are. And yeah, like you said, now you've got some key injuries piling up on this roster. Chase, Higgins, Sam Hubbard popped on the injury report on Thursday. Can this team cover a big number against an offense that can move the ball through the air pretty well? And that's what Houston can and should do in this game. Dameon Pierce likely out again this week. The Texans should rely less on the run game. Just carve up this Bengals pass D that ranks near the bottom in the league in a lot of defensive metrics against the pass. Contest, we know the contest loves the Bengals too. So with this sitting short of 7, I can see a lot of people back on the Bengals, assuming they get a little promising news with these wide receivers on Friday. And I want to be on the other side with Stroud. I think this could very well be a close game.
Weren't the Texans top 5 as well last week? And didn't their rookie star quarterback just throw for 400 yards? I think the Texans...
Were they?
I think this might be
double. Yes,
double.
but they didn't cover.
But I think this still might be double popular because everybody feels like they were jobbed a bit with the Kaimi Fairbairn injury. Shouts to Dare Ogunbowale, by the way. Just stones stepping up and nailing that field goal. Soccer player.
Heart of a Badger.
Is he a Badger? Something Wisconsin? Funny note from their special teams coordinator about why the punter didn't take it. He's an Aussie guy, and he's like, look, Aussie guys don't kick balls off the ground. They just don't do it. All they do is the Aussie rules football motion. But yeah, Brett, I'm with you. Like, how much time a day can you dedicate to punting? All right? And then outside of that time, I know these guys are practicing on their ball spins and their ball bounces and their ball tricks. You can't set up a tee and just kick some 30-yarders? I don't understand.
Embarrassing.
It really is. DP, you're the highest on Coinborough, who the second bet I made an ugly teaser bet. It was my first legal bet in the state of Florida. My second bet was Coinborough to win the Super Bowl, plus 1,200. I'm riding Coin all the way to the finish line. DP, you like the Bengals. Talk about them.
I mean, Brett's in here talking about everyone swooning over Joe Burrow. What the hell have they been doing for the last week about CJ Stroud? I mean, come on, man. It's unbelievable after what they did last week. So, listen, this is kind of simple for me. I'll explain it in investment terms. I'm taking some profit on my Texans stock. That's what I'm doing here, okay? Selling a little bit, just a little bit. I'm going to keep a lot of it because I still like the Texans. But here, Like, I just got to back off a little bit. I think the Bengals are kind of rounding into form for the team that a lot of people thought that they would be coming into the season. Their defense is playing better. Joey Burrow is back to being coin. I'm personally confident, reading some of the headlines, reading some of the reports, that Jamar Chase is going to be good to go. Sounds like if he can get out of bed, he'll be fine. He's just kind of, maintenance throughout the week with his back. Higgins, whatever. I think they'll be all right without him in this spot. I like the Bengals in this spot. But I also know it's probably going to be pretty popular. I think I'm leaning with Rich there, that both sides will be kind of popular. I mean, if you like the Texans, you see the Texans getting 6.5. If you like the Bengals, you're like, well, let's just go. So it's going to kind of be one of those games where I wouldn't be surprised to see 4 digits on each team in the contest, 1,000 plus each way.
I saw Bitcoin was up today. How much is Burrow coin up this week?
Burrow coin's through the roof.
All-time high.
Yeah.
All-time high.
ETH AF. The biggest injury for me, which I'll be monitoring heading into the weekend, is Nico Collins, because he was limited on Wednesday, and then popped up as a DNP, downgraded on Thursday. And he is by far the best weapon on this Texans offense. So that's the one I will be keying in on with regards to...
Bryce Young tried. Mo saw it. I know Mo saw it.
We got to hold on for dear life. All right. You, watchers, listeners, hold on as well. We'll be right back with the Lone Wolves. Oh, buddy. Another week, another game where Donnie is a lone wolf on a New England Patriots matchup. The Patriots travel to Germany to take on the Indianapolis Colts. And everybody is on New England except for Donnie Peters. And Donnie Peters has a very strong opinion on Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, you guys are idiots in this.
And them boys.
Idiots.
We're idiots.
What do you mean?
laying
Come
points-
on. Don't do this crap with this stupid ass team. Don't do this. They are so effing bad. And they're only getting worse. Have you looked at the injury report? How bad is their offensive line? How are they going to do without Trent Brown, man? Freaking horrendous, okay? They have no pass catchers. Bill Belichick is so toasted. This idiot went and got J.C. Jackson and is now not even bringing his ass to Germany. He's leaving him home.
He missed curfew. What are you gonna do?
Big freaking deal, Bill. Who cares? You suck at your job, Bill. You suck at your job. How are the Patriots? Tell me how the Patriots are going to get to 20 points. Because every single week, the Colts score at least 20 points. They can barely score 14.
WR1.
They are, who's WR1?
Taekwon.
What?
Something
Get out of
Thornton.
That guy is so brittle. So brittle. The other guy that everyone's raving about, Douglas, has a bum ankle. Devontae Parker is not traveling again. Like, he's out just forever because he's soft as all hell. This team is a disaster.
Rager season.
Jalen Rager. You can let me know. You have my phone number. Text me when Jalen Rager catches a pass. Please. Text me when Jalen Rager catches a pass. For the love of God.
I've got jokes. I've got no opinion. I don't know how you can have an opinion on this game. But
What
Donnie has
do
a
you
strong one.
mean?
And Mo has a strong one, evidently, as well.
Come on.
On this triage
is
Patriots team.
the week, man.
This is not the week. Get out
Colts
of here.
suck, you guys. They can't stop anybody. They just got 3 yards per play against Carolina. Okay? And their defense got absolutely steamrolled by the Saints. The Colts are awful, you guys. They're not good. Gardner Minshew is bad. He's facing off against a defensive mastermind here, okay? With a bad team around him. Let's just be
Who
real.
is this
The Colts
defensive
aren't very
mastermind?
good.
Please, explain him to me.
Dude.
Bill
It's
Belichick
still
15
Bill
years ago?
Belichick against an absolute idiot out there.
Bill
Gardner
Belichick
Minshew is an idiot.
sucks. He sucks. He gave his defense to his child. He's an idiot. Get out of here with this.
but
He's not
he's
good.
washed,
He's
but
not
he
a
can
mastermind. The only
game
reason
plan.
Bill Belichick is out there in any of these games is to try and luck box his way to beating Don Shula with the most wins record. You guys want to talk about QB wins? Belichick is out there chasing coaching wins. That's all he's trying to do. That's all he's trying to do. And at
Meanwhile,
this
he's
rate,
gonna-
he's going to just
he's
need to luck his way into it because he's horrible.
He's going to Cy Young it at this rate, too. He's going to have both career wins and career losses.
This line in the preseason was Patriots minus 4.5, you guys. They're
Well, yeah,
playing a
this is-
what does that mean?
Did you
Colts
think the
team.
Patriots were going to be 2-7?
But
No,
then
they
lost-
suck. They're
they
horrible.
lost-
This
they
line should
lost
be
all
where
their
it is
best-
now.
They lost all their best players.
Doesn't
And
matter. They should still be favored against the Colts right now without their best corner, probably, who's not even that good. They haven't gotten a stop since Juju Brents went out, okay? That guy's a rookie, and he's their best corner. That's how bad this Colts secondary is. Anybody can pass on them. If you give Mac Jones a decent pocket, he can pass on this Colts team. And on the other side, you have Gardner Minshew, who is awful, against Bill Belichick, okay? The Colts should have a plus next to their name.
this cap for me came down to what I saw from Indy last week. And outside of Bryce Young absolutely blowing it, they played the Panthers to a draw. And the Panthers are awful. So,
And here's the crazy part. Everyone's on the Colts.
yeah, 60% of the tickets. People are definitely not going to be on New England. We move to a much lower lone wolf from Mo, and that is the Browns, who travel to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. So here's where I'm at on this game. You guys, and I guess I'm just talking to Mo in this scenario, you guys were saying how bad the Cardinals are, right? The Cardinals are the worst team. The Cardinals are awful. The Cardinals defense played amazing last week against the Browns. And if something Looney Tunes wasn't basically Jake Luton, that game would have been very competitive. So, under that guise, how does this Browns team score points, Mo?
I'm sorry, where are we going with this?
You have the Browns.
I have the
How
Ravens.
do they score points?
No, I have the Browns.
Oh, sorry, it's DP. Sorry.
I have the Browns. It's my 3-pointer.
I'm heated.
I don't
I'm heated
really
about
care.
this one.
Yeah, you can be heated up. Be heated up all you want. I wrote down a bunch of things. I said tricky spot, big spread, divisional matchup here, Browns revenge, blah, blah, blah. Deshaun Watson is the QB, blah, 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 all this crap, whatever. End of the day, I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to take the stinky side with the Browns. Give me the 6.5 points in this stupid matchup. I have no idea what's going to happen here. The Ravens should probably blow doors here. That said, who knows? Lamar Jackson will probably fumble the ball 4 times because he's an idiot half the time, and maybe he'll just give the ball to the Browns. I have no idea what's going to happen here. No idea. So don't really hold my feet to the fire with this one.
So there's a lot of discussion this week about Ravens power rankings and where they are, and a lot of people want to get them as high as 1. And I don't want to get into that discussion. I just want to talk about this matchup specifically. And I have the Ravens minus 5.5 in real life. I grabbed that ticket. This should be a touchdown. This Browns offense is pitiful. It really is. Outside of one deep shot to Amari Cooper, they couldn't do anything last week against the Arizona Cardinals. And the numbers bear this out. Doesn't matter who's at quarterback. 28th in DVOA, 28th in EPA passing, 30th in passing success rate. This offense stinks. So what happens when an actual good offense outperforms the Browns' good defense, because we know good offense beats good defense, and the Browns find themselves in a negative script? I think they get pantsed. I really do. This Ravens team is cooking. This Ravens team feels like the Lamar MVP season when they just started smoking teams. They were beating teams by 30 on the regular. And I think we're just going to start seeing that out of this squad. And I love the Ravens. I really do. Anything short of a touchdown, I think you can have in your account and be happy about it. Who's worried? Mo, I see some faces. You hate Lamar. You'll just never be on the Lamar.
No, I like this Ravens team. I'm impressed. I don't think their defense is that good on paper. I don't know how they're this good. And I'm worried about, but I'm worried about this. I'm worried about the Browns. I'm worried about these tackles. They might be on a third stringer. This is rough, dude. I'm with you. I think the Ravens should roll, but it is a really low total. It's kind of gross laying that many points in a low total divisional matchup. It just makes me feel a little bit sick. So even though I do think the Ravens are the side, and I also, aren't people going to click on, dude, the Ravens cover every week. Aren't they going to be popular here?
Probably, yeah.
They cover by 20 every week.
People are definitely going to need a reason to stop clicking them. All right, like DP, I have a pair of lone wolves, and we'll start with Saints at Vikings. The Saints were 2.5-point favorites on the look ahead. Opened as a full field goal, but this ticked right back down to 2.5. And I'll preface this by saying that both of my lone wolves are well below the fold. And yes, I am a massive fish.
No, you don't get to do this. Every time we're lone wolf low, you tell us we're all in.
Yeah, pick up the sword, defend it, let's go. Defend yourself right now on Minnesota. Get on the front of the ship, put your Viking helmet on, and let's go.
That's
I
pretty
have
good.
to say this. Thank you. I have to say this. What Kevin O'Connell did last week is one of the most impressive things I've ever seen in pro football. Imagine you had the biggest presentation of your life, but you weren't allowed to present. You had to have somebody go up there who you met maybe a week ago, although I think O'Connell and Dobbs do go way back. I think they've been together in a previous system, but regardless for my analogy, someone else has to go on stage for you, for your presentation, and you're in their ear, and you have to quickly, succinctly, and calmly tell them exactly what to do in order for them to execute. The way that he was feeding plays and telling Dobbs what the play was before the radios turned off and was able to get competent quarterback play at a Dobbs last week was a thing of art. So is it going to sustain in that fashion? I've got no idea. But I don't know, man. I was looking at O'Connell Coach of the Year markets. I think Dobbs was the shot in the arm that this team needs. The Osborne injury hurts. He's in protocol right now. They're just down to absolutely no talent outside of Addison if he doesn't go. Hawkinson, I mean, he's got the ribs. He, as Mo said, he just never makes a key catch whenever you need it. Like, he's only making it if it's right between the 8 and 7. And this is just a New Orleans team.
Not if he's under defensive pressure.
Yeah,
That's the key here. If he's
any
wide
duress.
open,
Yeah.
Hawkinson's great. And he's good at getting open.
This is a Saints team that they're just not going to run away from anybody. We know what they are. They're milquetoast, okay. They'll get the job done, but they're not going to blow anybody's doors off. So,
Why? They don't have to blow doors off here.
but would you be shocked if the Minnesota Vikings won this football game?
I think I would
Yes.
be.
Shocked?
Yes.
I would
Come
be
on,
shocked.
guys. The
I
line's
wouldn't be
2.5,
shocked.
3. You can't be shocked.
That's what I mean.
I wouldn't be shocked. I would be a little surprised.
I can be shocked. Why can't I be
Can
shocked?
be shocked. DP, tell me why you're shocked.
What, the Saints are just a super solid team, man. What's wrong here?
Are we 100% sure Derek Carr is better than Josh Dobbs?
Yeah.
He has to be.
He's been
Okay,
at least playing
Richard-
in his offense for a whole season. I mean, come on, man.
I'm not going to sit here and tell you the NFL contract market is perfectly efficient, but I don't think it's going to be tens of millions of dollars off on these two guys.
Yeah. Fair enough. Pile on, DP.
I mean, listen, I know it's probably scary to just be like, oh, Derek Carr, road favorite, whatever. But I don't know. The Saints look solid every week. Isn't Brett the guy who's like, they're just a good football team? And I think I'm just now believing in that. They're just solid. I think ultimately the Saints don't have like a massive ceiling, but they also don't have a super low floor. They have a high floor and a low ceiling. They're just kind of just straight line, linear, whatever, and they're just good. I think the Dobbs stuff, yeah, it's a great story. Maybe they'll make a movie out of that stupid game last week. Who cares? It doesn't matter. That's not what wins football games. Dobbs is all right. I mean, I don't know. That last week, what happened with Dobbs felt like kind of a spur of the moment thing. It just lightning in a bottle. However you want to explain it. They kind of played a dumb team. Like, okay, fine, cool. Give them that one. Have your fun, whatever. Sell all of that hype, okay? You got a good professional football team coming in who gets, yes, they're on the road. They're in a dome. I mean, come on. Well, how hard is this going to be? We just need Derek Carr to put the ball in the end zone at least once in the red zone. Just do that once for me. And the Saints are going to cover this one easy. That's all that's going to happen.
Minotti, a classic sell spot for you. You get to sell Dobbs off of that lovely victory, as DP said it, a Disney-like story. But on the other side of the coin, you have to buy the New Orleans Saints, your favorite squad.
This team frustrates the hell out of me. Look, I love Josh Dobbs, but that win last week was just such an outlier. The guy's running around on a playground, racking up fantasy points. What happens when he has to face a very good defense that will have all week to prepare for the fact that Dobbs doesn't know how to run this system? And O'Connell is a wizard. I love O'Connell. I think what he's doing without Cousins is incredible. But what we saw last week is not sustainable. This roster is really bad. I've got the Saints power rated 12. I've got the Vikings 24. Like, this team is not good. This to me should absolutely be 3 points, and I think you could even make it 3.5, and I would agree. And the Saints are just finding their groove on offense, man. They were 23rd in EPA per play over the first 5 weeks, 8th over the past 4 weeks. This team is cooking, and I see that continuing here against a bad football team.
Everybody missed the train on Saints NFC South, unfortunately.
Yep.
Unless you didn't. Did you get it in there, Mo?
Speak for yourself. I got in there at plus 140 or 135, whatever it was. Before that Falcons lost 2 weeks ago.
That was my preseason tout, guys. The only adult in the room, and they're doing it. My other lone wolf, does anybody have an opinion? I usually put the game where the lone wolf has it and then the next highest person. So I have Giants at Cowboys, and then in parentheses I have who the hell knows? Who the hell knows? But at the end of the day, you would have to put me in a very compromised situation for me to put an X next to something DeVito.
At the end of the day, it's 16.5 in professional football, Richard. Okay?
You
click the 16.5.
Headline.
Don't care.
Is DeVito 8 points worse than injured
Yes.
Daniel Jones?
Yes.
Is he, though?
Yes.
I don't know, but I find it hard to believe that.
How do they score? How do they score a point? And they haven't even has there been one snap of Saquon in Wildcat?
Dude, if I tell you this stat, which I don't even know the stat, but just listen to this general stat, okay? DeVito had a positive CPOE last week. I saw that. It was like significantly positive. It was like plus 12%. Something in that ballpark, I think. He actually completed some passes. I'm not saying the Giants are going to cover. I'm not saying I'm betting the Giants. I am saying I have a hard time believing that he's like 10 points worse than injured Daniel Jones. This look-ahead line was 9.
All right,
like, that's where this line is going.
Let's go to Brett, who also has a pair of lone wolves. And we start with a team that he's buying once again off of a massive win this time. And that's the Green Bay Packers, who traveled to Pittsburgh to take on top 5. And as you can see from Mo's reaction, every other member of the collective has Pittsburgh in their top 5, Brett.
I knew you guys would do this.
So pick up your shield.
This is the most popular play in the contest this week. Everybody's buying the Steelers. This line is creeping towards 3.5. That's why I clicked Packers, because I did not want this to be the collective pick, but I think one of you idiots probably put the Steelers on your card.
Okay, that's great. So let's talk football. Why would Green Bay be competitive in this game?
I got nothing.
They stumbled over themselves to win a football game at home against something ripping. Every mistake they could make, they made.
Great on defense.
Well, because it was something ripping.
Brett, You yourself said Green Bay played like dog shit in that game.
They did.
You said that.
Offensively, they did. The cap was ripping. So, yeah, I mean, I'm still fine with that play. But, yeah, offensively,
you know what's going to happen?
But why aren't you ready to sell them here?
You know what's going to have an effect on the defense?
I'm not saying I'm not. I'm saying the Steelers are a bad contest play. That's what I'm saying.
You know what's going to have an effect on the defense? How about no Jair and no Quay Walker?
I'm aware. I know. Last week's Packers are not this week's Packers. That is for sure. But the public is sniffing that out.
Well, what are you going to do? I don't know what to do.
Well, then what should this line be then?
It should be north.
It has to be at least 4. This line is baffling.
I just don't know.
What are we doing here?
What is Jordan Love going to do with this Steelers pass rush?
At least.
Bearing
On
down
the
on
road
him.
with multiple backup linemen against this Steelers pass rush. When have we seen Jordan Love complete a pass under pressure? He has a 43 PFF grade, and that matches what my eyes are telling me when I watch this man under pressure. He hits the panic button and just has no idea what to do. He has no idea what to do on the road against a good pass rush. How are the Packers going to score 17 points here? That's what they need to cover this.
I mean, at the end of the day, having Pickett minus on the card is not something that is enjoyable.
Chalk Pickett. This is the chalk of the week, guys. Oh.
That being said,
I know. I get it.
the Packers stink.
They might.
They stink. No, they stink. They stink.
That's the
They
other
were
thing about this game
horrific
is if you
last
look
week.
at the metrics, they're all telling you that the Packers are about equal with the Steelers, and they're not. The Packers have played a clown schedule, and the Steelers have played the toughest schedule in the NFL.
It's true.
Number one toughest schedule. Brett's other lone wolf. This game is very interesting to me. San Francisco travels to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. And Brett is the only one laying the wood with San Francisco. I was really interested in Jacksonville at the start of the week, and then I saw some sharp people were on San Francisco, Raz included. Right Angle Sports put out a release on San Francisco. And I'm also seeing some weather in this game. Sustained winds of 20 miles an hour, gusts up to, I'm seeing 30 miles an hour, which is of interest as well. So, Brett, you lead things off. You've got San Fran, you've got them low, but tell us why ultimately you clicked them in the spot.
I don't know. I flipped a coin. I don't know what to do here. Two teams off a bye. Like, I thought this line was fair. So I don't know how you could have like a strong lean on this.
I think I'm the highest on this game. I think I have Jacksonville close to my top 5. I just have Mo echoing in my background how much they miss D'Amico and how much this Niners defense has struggled thus far. And I've been banging the drum about Zay Jones. He's back at practice. I think he really matters to an offense that wants to run exclusively 11. And the Jaguars are starting to look like the team that we expected them to be, with Peterson dialing it up for Trevor Lawrence. So from a real betting perspective, one of the things I've been interested in as this line creeps up and the total creeps down because people are worried about the weather is I've been looking at Jags team total over 20.5. I think I'm leaning in that direction. And if it gets to 19.5, I'm going to fire on that because I think the Jags can score points in this game. But I also think that their defense might be due for some regression because, Mo, while they keep playing great and they're 5th in pass defense DVOA and they're great in all these metrics, I don't know any of these dudes. I don't know why this Jags defense is playing well.
Yeah, I'm with you. And, you know, they've had a run of not the greatest schedule, I guess, probably, you know, facing teams like the Steelers, offenses that just strike absolutely zero fear into your heart. You Yeah, I'm like you, man. I started the week ready to just fire on the Jags, and then I'm going to be honest. I thought I was going to be a lone wolf on the Jags. I thought you guys were going to all be on the Niners. So I'm a little bit surprised that Brett's a lone wolf here, but this is a tough one. I think the Niners might get Trent Williams back. I saw he went back to practice. Trent and Debo. I mean, this could be a completely different Niners team. And then I just keep remembering like all these games where the Niners are losing. I mean, they're actually gaining a shit ton of yards in these games and doing it very efficiently. So maybe the Niners, all the metrics are screaming that the Niners are the side here. They all say the Niners are much, much better than the Jags. So I think I'm just going to stay away from this one and watch it as a fan because I don't know. I have a hard time imagining the Jags being 3-point dogs here to the Niners, but at home. But maybe, and it's early body clock game for the Niners too. So I don't know. What do you guys know about the weather in Jacksonville though? Because I'm interested in that because I know there's some stadiums where the wind doesn't have as big of an effect. Where like in Cleveland, you always feel it or whatever when it's actually. When it says it's 15 miles an hour, you can see that players are struggling, and I know we felt it and saw it in Buffalo. So I know there's some stadiums where it's not a big deal. So maybe this is one of them. I don't know what the situation is. I feel like Miami's one of those. I sometimes see some wind in Miami and San Francisco too, and it doesn't really ever seem to be like affecting the game as much.
Yeah, it's one of those, right? When some of the data is field level and the other is like city level or closest airport level. Miami is a good example of that because the Dolphins actually play in Miami Gardens, which is like way away from the water. And the way the stadium is constructed, it has like this overhang, so it's hard for wind to get in. So that makes logical sense to me. But with regards to Jacksonville, I just don't know. I can only go off the data that's in front of me. But the market is moving down. So I would assume that it's influential money that's doing that this time of the week, and that their data is showing them that it will have an impact on this contest. Mo has one lone wolf, and it's a team he just can't fold.
The Bills make me want.
I'm going to go to my grave as the biggest Josh Allen truther there is, I guess.
Just going to keep martingaling Josh Allen.
Because I was in the stadium when he just had the biggest superhero game of all time against the Chiefs, so I can never let that go, I guess. But, yeah, this one, what is Circa doing with this number? Can somebody explain this to me? I haven't seen a 7 all week.
Well, maybe they're predicting and move off the hook.
I mean, as it should.
Been consistent Denver action so far. I think it opened at 8.5, 9, whatever it was. But I thought that line was fair, man. I mean, shouldn't Josh Allen just smash this defense?
The Bills are broken.
What are you
Bro,
talking
you've been
about? You guys are
saying this.
Brett said the Bills are
broken.
top 10. Have you watched
By the way,
teams in this league?
Yes, yeah, they're broken. Okay, the Bills were broken, and now they might be without Benford and Poyer. They are broken.
And Hyde.
Broken. It's over. It's Jover.
Floyd. None of these guys practice. Who's playing defense for the Bills this week?
It's the Broncos. They can't do anything on offense. Even that game
What are you
against the
talking
Chiefs,
about? That's the
fakest
only thing they
24
can do
points
is
you'll ever
offense.
see. Fakest 24 points you'll ever see. That was early in the season. They were scoring some points. They can't do anything anymore. 19
lay a
against the
touchdown with
Packers,
this
whatever
Bills
that
team.
was.
You can't do it, man. Not the way they're playing right now. Not the way that they're dealing with all these injuries and everything. They just no, you cannot do it.
And by the way, you know what's a good recipe for a bad defense? How about Josh Allen handing you one?
Broncos fresh off the bye too. I mean, come on.
I don't know how you can be comfortable laying 7 with this team right now.
This is a fake number, though. This is a fake number. Find me a 7. Why is this line 7?
I felt
it's
the
gonna get
same
there.
way. I mean, I wrote down, put this under like one of Brett's, I don't really understand what's going on here, so I just have to be completely fucking wrong and someone needs to explain it to me because I feel like this should be like 5. I mean, I just I don't understand. But I just put it low on my card because I was like, I have to be absolutely just whiffing on something because why are the Bills laying a touchdown? In what universe are the Bills laying a touchdown?
Have you guys seen the computers? You guys think I like the Bills? The computers still have the Bills like Super Bowl favorites. Some of
The
these
computers are
projections.
more broken than the Bills are then. Like, you can't... Have you watched this team with your eyes?
I unfortunately have because I keep betting the Bills.
What are you seeing then?
Josh Allen is still crushing it.
He's
No,
seeing
he's
4
not.
touchdowns to Gabe Davis. That's why he hates Gabe Davis so much too, because he saw him play like Jerry Rice, and then he was all in on him on fantasy.
Because we told him to. That's why.
Yeah, this is rule of Mo. If it went wrong, it's somebody else's fault.
You guys
If it was
did
right.
tell me to.
There's no way that happened.
I think it was such a milk toast taste. It was like, is Gabe Davis a late round target in fantasy? We're like, yeah, he could be. And Mo thought that we told him he had 3rd round value
Blast.
or something.
You guys were
Blast.
posting highlights of Gabe Davis against chairs on the field. Just like, what's his name? Who's the guy Jordan drafted? Kwame Brown. He was probably dominant against the chairs.
Kwame. He was 5-star. All right, so the Lone Wolves. DP has the Colts and Browns. I have the Vikings and Cowboys. Brett has the Packers and Niners. And Mo has the Buffalo Bills. All right, we need another winning week. It's time for the card.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire.
As I said at the top, 4-1 for Minotti last week, so he leads things off with a split game. But I will say, the person who was with him on the split game was also uber confident, so I'm starting to lean in that direction.
Yeah, I've got the Falcons as road favorites. Scary.
Can't believe we have to sweat idiot Arthur Smith. That's a road. Something Heineken. Road
I think this
favorite.
is one of the most baffling lines of the year. Like
The
this has to
Falcons
be
are
north of
vastly
3.
better than the Cardinals. It's
Yeah,
not
I'll say
close.
this. I'll say this. If on the first offensive drive, Kyler Murray scampers for a 20-yard run, bet the Cardinals live. I'll say that.
What's the contest going to do with this one?
Stay away.
I think the contest is on the Cardinals, right?
No, I don't think
Public's
so.
on the Cardinals.
I don't think, but I don't think.
65%. That's a lot.
But it could be 65% of 100 tickets. You know, like it could be no action. In this game.
Idiots are excited for Murray, aren't they?
I think so.
People are scooping him in fantasy and playing him.
We move to Mo, who's going to make Donnie close his ears.
I'm going to make Donnie pull out his veto, probably.
I'm snap vetoing, so just say it. Go ahead.
I got the
Just-
Patriots.
yeah, go. Press the sounder, Rich.
Where is it? I can't find it.
Come on.
There it is.
Aren't 3 of us high on this game?
So here's what I'll say. I think vetoes have killed us in the past. So I think the right thing to do is to encourage Mo to take a different game.
That's what I'm going to do. I want a different game. Mo,
Okay.
what's your number 2, your number 3, whatever the hell, not this one.
So Mo's number 1 was sniped by the collective. His number 2 is the aforementioned New England Patriots. And his number 3 is a consensus pick,
Sounds like it must be a consensus pick since we haven't talked about it.
but one that makes me absolutely fucking nauseous.
No, this is 100% going on the
Yes.
card. It's 100%. This is the play. Put the Jets on. Let's go. All the Sounders.
Okay, number 1,
This-
the public is somehow on the Raiders here. I mean,
They should be. As they should be.
why?
Oh.
What do you mean
No,
as they
Rick.
should be? These idiots
No.
were smoking cigars in the locker room last week. Get out of here, dude.
And they're gonna
Get
be- they're gonna
out
be-
of here.
They're going to
No
be smoking
shot.
on that Jets pack.
No shot. You
Zach
think
Wilson.
dude,
hands them the
listen,
ball 3
if it
times.
wasn't for the Jets offense being a total bunch of idiots last week, the
Which
Chargers
is
probably
predictive.
don't win that game. The Raiders are not the Chargers, okay? In any way,
Yes,
shape, or
that's-
form. They are
Rich.
not the Chargers.
Okay, I will at least listen
This Jets
to you.
defense is not going to allow the Raiders to move the ball 1 yard. Okay.
How are the Raiders going to get a first down in this game?
They're not. They're not.
Then what's the problem?
Zach Wilson will give them the ball in field goal position.
Dude, it's
That's the problem.
Raiders defense. They're not that good. They have one guy who's really good, and that's it.
Yes.
And he's banged up.
Well, and the Jets have 0 humans who can block him. As long as they move him away from
He's been
Mekhi.
smoking cigars and at the strip club all week, okay? It's good.
Look, this is Jesse Martin, 100% the right side. You buy the Jets, team that, if it wasn't the Hawks, team that looked the worst. Like Donnie said, you've got guys smoking cigars in the locker room because they beat something called DeVito in a pro football game. I mean, this is the spot. But it's still Zach and Hackett.
This is like the time
and Lazard.
Jeff Saturday took over and was Jeff Sunday for exactly 1 week, and then they lost every single game after that.
Yes, I love that.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
The Jets are way better than the Raiders. Like, I know, okay, I let you talk me out of my Jets bet last week and into the under because you made some sense.
I'm not talking anybody out of a
The
Jets bet this
Chargers
week.
are still a pretty good team that are capable of moving the ball at times. The Raiders are dreadful, and they have multiple starting defenders and their best lineman hurt. The Jets, if O'Connell doesn't get sacked 7 times, I will be amazed in this game.
Bryce Huff is playing for the bag, man. That at his current pace, I mean, he's at least getting franchise tagged, if not going for 20-something million a year. So that
How much of that is Q, though? Dude, Q opens up so much for those guys. How good is Bryce Huff, really?
Bryce Huff is good. What you're saying is correct. Q gets no love. Q has one of the most insane stats I've seen this season. He is 7th in the league in pass rush win rate as a defensive tackle, and he is double teamed on 70% of the snaps he plays. Insane stuff from a defensive tackle. So what that does is it creates one-on-one matchups on the edge, but you still got to win your one-on-ones, and JJ and Huff are winning them on a very consistent basis. There's 2 things that worry about me in this game. One is obviously the offense, which is inept in multitudes. The other one is Vegas flu. I'm a little bit worried. Got a young roster. Go out, have some fun. I'm worried about Vegas
If
flu.
Robert Saleh can't stop that, then what's he good
he's
for?
an adult in the room. And I'll say your Vegas flu. The team in Vegas is going to have Vegas flu. Again, they've been partying for a week after beating Tommy DeVito, bro. I mean, it's unreal.
Something DeVito. Okay, I'm with it. I like this pick. I am up next. I have the other consensus pick. That's right. There are only 2 this week. And we're in reruns here because we did the exact same thing last week. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers laying 1 point at home against the Tennessee Titans. This was one on the look ahead. Brett's already shaking his head. Has opened at 1 and has stayed at 1. Last week, Will Levis tried so hard to hand the ball to the Steelers on multiple occasions, throwing into traffic, throwing the ball backwards. He is primed to blow. He is Ryan Fitzpatrick reborn in the NFL.
The keg. We haven't gotten a keg drop in how long?
A new keg. Now we're going to Tampa Bay without Sean Murphy-Bunting, without Treylon Burks, something Levis, high variance, and the biggest issue with this Titans team is they can't stop a nosebleed defending the pass. And now you've got Baker throwing to Evans, throwing to Godwin. You get to buy them off that loss. I don't know why this isn't 2.5. I don't know why these 2 teams aren't viewed as even in the market. And despite the Bucs plunging on first down and being in second and long eternally, I think they're going to be able to do enough on offense here to put Will Levis in some negative scripts and force him to make plays, which I think he obviously can. His high-end outputs are very scary and very high, but he still struggles when it comes to success rate on a down-to-down basis. And he's definitely very capable of handing the ball to the other team. Brett, what is your biggest fear backing this Tampa team?
Coaching.
It's fair. It's very fair.
I thought this was fair. I don't know. I have the Bucks 5 spots higher in my power ratings, but even still, like I can't get there. I can't get to like 2.5 in this spot. I don't know.
If it was Tannehill, I'd be with you because it's just steady Eddie. You know what you're going to get from Tannehill, but I don't know what I'm going to get from Levis.
That's fair.
This is a man who literally threw the ball backwards last week.
What if he keeps getting better though? Like he might be good.
He might be, but he also might just throw the ball backwards.
For sure. For sure. That's like I don't know what to do with that. I don't know how to cap it.
I can
Any
tell
other
you guys a
thoughts?
story from last week, which is I was texting with Chris. He tailed us, and he was keeping me updated while I was waiting for my plane to take off, and I just kept getting JFC. The Steelers have dropped 2 picks this drive. Just the last drive seemed like a frustrating sweat. So that was those were not a fun way to sweat it out on the plane getting texts.
The Bucks are also, and this is Bulls AF, they're really good at stopping the run. Second in rush defense EPA, 12th in DVOA. So they're going to make Levis make plays, which I kind of like as a Bucks backer. So Tampa is on the card. DP, round us out. Another NFC South team, because your top pick, which was the freaking Colts, off the board. So who do you got?
The Saints, baby.
Panthers just dropped a pick in the end zone. Not dropped, but a ball caromed in the direction of a Panthers defender. We are selling Josh Dobbs off of his...
We're going to be cursing our brains out at Derek Carr in the red zone all Sunday. I can't wait.
Why are you guys got to stop clinging to this? They've figured this problem out, guys.
Taysom.
Give the rock to Taysom in the red zone now.
Yeah, but I can still curse Derek Carr when Derek Carr gets the ball in the red zone.
That's
It still
fine. You can
happens.
curse him because he's so bad that he can't even take a red zone snap. He deserves that.
So we've got Heineken, Zach Wilson, Baker Mayfield, Derek Carr. Who's it going to be, Brett?
Can I veto the collective pick? I know what you guys did here.
Rich says you're not allowed.
The collective chooses the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I need
Brett,
some roses or something. I said last week the Packers should not be -3 against anyone, and they looked like absolutely dog shit. And you guys laughed at me. Okay,
Won by 17.
they looked
Because they played
horrendous.
Brett
the worst team in the
Rippin.
universe,
I know, but they should have been -3 last week.
bro.
Yes, we were on the right side.
Jordan
Absolute
Love
stone right
against
side.
this defense.
I know.
Find the interception markets. Find whatever you need to find. Get all of it.
For those of you that weren't watching on YouTube, when the sounder was going off, Brett was so far back in his room that he was in the darkness. He just couldn't. He tried to leave the podcast.
Come
Faded
on,
away.
Brett. Baker Mayfield is the best quarterback on our card. This is a collective classic.
But we are on the same side as everybody else with
Doesn't
the Steelers.
matter when we go 5-0, man. It doesn't
game.
matter.
Think about it. This is rule of DFS, right? You can have one chalk if you've got devil sides. What's the term? You've got devil sides elsewhere.
Yeah, rule of Mickey. Chalk doesn't matter. Chalk doesn't matter.
All right.
Who
you
is
guys
going to
your
have
fun.
Matt
Steelers?
Brown. It doesn't
Who is gonna-
matter.
Who is going to have Steelers and Jets, right? By your guys' counts, who's going to have Steelers, Jets, Falcons? Unique. That's what I was looking. Unique chalk.
We have a unique lineup, Brett.
Yeah.
God, I don't like it.
He's so mad at us.
Look at
that
the collection of
team,
I'm
man.
looking at the 5 teams I wrote down. No one is going to have this. I mean, what in the world is this?
We
this
did
group of teams?
we did so good last week. We had all the leverage last week, and this is just a painful one because we know, you guys know what everybody's going to do with Pittsburgh.
How'd that go for us? The fish side's cleaned up.
Yeah, we should.
But last week it was a combination of we also felt that those sides were the right sides, and then we would also get leverage. Like we weren't just clicking just strictly based on leverage.
Yeah, this is going to close 3.5.
I'm not really
no
sure. Outside of picking the Packers, I'm not so really sure where the leverage is this week. Like it's
That's
kind
what
of
I was
all
gonna-
even.
That's what I was going to get into. Looking across the board, I don't see a game unless there's some sort of injury news on Friday that we're unaware of. Like the only ones I could see is if Texans and Seahawks get to a full touchdown somehow.
Texans, yeah.
Then Bengals and Seahawks would become popular. Those are the only ones that I could see. But I don't know what kind of momentum would be necessary to get either of those games to a full
I think
touchdown.
the Lions are going to be top 5.
Yeah.
People are going to see the steam. They're going to tail the steam. The Lions were covering. Everyone knows the Chargers are idiots. It's still only 3. I still think the Lions are going to be very popular.
They could be.
They definitely could be. All right, before we get out of here, Mo writes one of the most well-read Survivor columns on planet Earth. So week 10 Survivor, we got a bunch of touchdown favorites. We've got the Cowboys who are favored by infinity, but that spot is interesting with the Circa contest because they obviously play on Thanksgiving. Where are we going this week, Mo?
It's boring. It's the Cowboys. The Cowboys are a free space. They can't lose, right? I mean, it's pretty close, but I would
Let's
think
have an
it,
interesting
honestly,
discussion then. If you're in Circa and you plan on not clicking the Cowboys on Thanksgiving, would you click them here? Knowing that you're not going to get the same share as you are in normal Survivor pools.
Yeah, I think in Circa it's defensible for sure not to click the Cowboys. Because I think most people are just going to use them here because there's other big favorites on Thanksgiving, dude. Detroit is projected to be a touchdown favorite at home against Green Bay. And then I think, is it Miami Jets? That's the Friday game?
Yes.
Miami's a pretty big favorite. I believe that one's on the holiday card as well.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's just there's other big favorites. I think people are going to see that and fire Cowboys here. So I think it's defensible to save the Cowboys purely for, even though this should be a free space, but purely so you can root for chaos on Thanksgiving in the other games. But in a regular pool, I think everyone that has the Cowboys is going to take them. I think it's probably rightfully so. Outside of the Cowboys, there's not a whole lot of great stuff. I think some of the lower favorites, like I thought Chicago was an okay play until Bajent was confirmed to be in, but I like Pittsburgh too, because you guys know that I like Pittsburgh against the spread, so I think Pittsburgh's a good play.
I was going to say, you obviously like the Bills laying the 7 as well, so you're probably comfortable taking
Yeah, but
Buffalo
I think
as well.
most people have used the Bills
Have taken them
already.
Yeah. Brett, where are you going in the Survivor contest that you remain in?
I have one Dallas entry left. I'm obviously blasting that one. Like you just have to use them this week. Like you can get weird in other spots during the season. This is the free. I want to say it's a free space. We already saw the Cowboys lose as massive favorites earlier this year. I don't see it happening against Tommy DeVito. I've got Ravens in one, and I think I went Seahawks. I'm not sure about that one yet. I don't feel great about Seahawks this week.
Everyone already used Seahawks, so you just want to use Seahawks now in the best spot you can find Seahawks.
Yeah, and this is it. I mean, this is the last spot, I think, for them.
And that's week 10. I think we found our way to a card that we are all generally okay with.
We found our way to a card that ODB is going to be furiously texting us how dumb we are every single interception one of these quarterbacks throws. He's going to have it on a tally on the wall, and he's just going to send us pictures of them.
Oh, Zach Wilson. All right. Follow these guys on Twitter at Donnie_Peters, at Brett Colson, COLLSON, and at Monuwara, NUWWARAH. I'm at Rich T. Ryan. Best of luck in your betting ventures. Come on, Bryce. Need to complete this march. Need at least a field goal. Let's go, Panthers. Until next week. No, peace. Out.